So in this video, I'm gonna walk through my old neighborhood in Siem Reap. This is where it all began and where I lived for almost a year. So I'm kind of in the neighborhood now. It's changed, but I'm gonna continue walking through the neighborhood, and then eventually I'll show you the little studio apartment I lived in for a whole year. Aura Bar. So this is Aura Bar. It's the closest bar from where I was living. A lot of hammocks. It's nice. Aura Bar is it's a well-known bar among expats because they roll joints and sell weed. So a lot of expats go there and, you know, smoke up. It's nice. Some cafes. A little bit of vacant land. You've also got like good nice buildings here as well, like apartment blocks. So a restaurant in there for the locals. And just some general shops. So there's some laundry places down there. Some places where you can get your fuel. This was my local corner store. I don't know what's happened. If they've shut down or maybe they're just not open at the moment. But that was my local corner store where I got, you know, my water and basic things for the house, or for the studio. And I used to come along this road every morning. This was like the street, my street. So got some nice there, and then some laundry service, some Khmer, traditional Khmer housing. One thing I've noticed, I haven't fixed the roads here. It's full of holes and potholes and stuff. What's today? Alright, we've got another laundry service here. And a sewing place. So now we're getting really close to my street. Some places where you can repair your bike if it closes down, if it breaks down. So today. It's a nice little neighborhood. I actually miss it. I actually really miss it. Here's some vacant land, some dogs. And then, about 10 meters away from the dogs, you got some chickens and roosters, and whatever they are. So this is the street. This is my actual street. You got some laundry service here for the locals. And this is my neighborhood. Little corner store, just for the basics. A couple of nice bigger houses here as well. a bit bigger. Tuk tuk. Someone's having a party. It's nice, you got playing around in the village. Okay, so if you take a right here, this was the block, the apartment block where my studio was. So I come through here. I don't know if sometimes they close the gate for security, which was good. Yeah, it's open. And in there was where I used to live. That one just on the end there where the motorbike is parked. That was my old... I don't really want to go in there right now because, you know, privacy thing. But yeah, that was it. I always liked how they would shut this gate. They would shut this gate like when it got a bit late at night, like around 10 o'clock. And it was good because you had a key, you could always get in. But one night I was out partying and stupidly forgot my key. And so I had to climb over that fence. I had to climb over that fence and then open it from the inside. I forgot what happened. Maybe it wasn't that I forgot my key, but something was, the lock was in the other side and I had no way, so I had to climb the fence and get in that way, and that was a drunken antic. It's a nice little neighborhood. I really miss it. I'm just gonna walk back out. What's the day? What's the day? There's a Khmer family having a gather. They love to crank their music so loud. But I really do miss this place. Like, really nice, peaceful, you know, neighborhood. There were nice people, never felt in danger. Yeah. I don't know if that's a mango. So that's the street. That's the street. Damn, I miss it. I really do miss it. So that was when I first came to Cambodia. I'd never lived out of home. I'd never lived in another country. And I rented this about, I think it was like 2 weeks into getting here. I found that apartment. I had someone from work helping me. Someone from the company that I was working at. She knew a lot about the real estate going around, and she introduced me to those people who run that apartment block. And I remember as soon as I got into that little studio, I was like, this is it, this is mine. And I was there for almost a year in that little studio. And it was nice. It was a nice little, it felt like home. It definitely felt like home, that little studio. You know, I was happy to come home every day and be there, and I felt really comfortable in there. So, yeah, it was a nice memories. Brings back nice memories to walk through my old neighborhood. It's nice. This road here, I remember every day to work. I had to come through this road. And during rainy season, when it get really wet, all these little holes in the road would fill up with water, and you'd kind of get wet on my little motorbike. No, I didn't have the motorbike here. I had a bicycle here. And this is also the road that I take every to go into the main part of town to buy myself dinner, because I didn't have a kitchen in my little studio. And even if I did have a kitchen in there, to be honest, I probably wouldn't cook. I'm too lazy for that. And also, like, you get really good home cooked meals in the little restaurants here for like $2. So there was absolutely no point in me buying food and cooking it when I could get all of that done for $2 every day. So this is the road. We're going more towards the main part of the city now. And that's my neighborhood. Welcome to my second neighborhood. I really loved it and I miss it. And you know, being back in this country, I've been here for like 4 days now, and being back here, I've had some moments where it feels like I never left. I don't know, it's really weird. I spent so much time here, like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I have these moments, like these really short moments where I'm like, oh, it feels like I never ever left. And yeah, I really do love it here though. It's just a nice place to relax. And you know, I think about this quite often. I can't do my degree, I can't finish it online. You have to go in with this course that I'm doing. So I plan on finishing this course within the next year or so, and then I'm thinking about coming back here to Siem Reap to live for maybe 6 months and train Kun Khmer or Muay Thai, because I'm really interested in doing something like that.
Yeah, we're just going down almost to...
These are really new developments. I don't know when they did this, probably during COVID. But now we're getting further into the city area. Not really, we're still a little bit away, maybe a kilometer away. But they did a lot of developments during COVID, actually. I think COVID was really a tough one for this city, because this city is a tourist town, so it relies heavily on tourism. And I knew when COVID occurred, I knew it was going to cause a lot of problems. And it did. A lot of businesses went bust and people were out of work. But coming back here and seeing, you know, how they've bounced back from that, you know, there were a lot of good things that came from it, like a lot of new developments. I'm seeing a lot of new roads, good quality roads being built around the town. So I'd say, you know, maybe that period of COVID was good in a way, because it gave them some downtime to recoup and develop a little bit more. So for when COVID is over, the tourists could come back to a bit more of a developed Siem Reap. Usually the Chinese are the big tourists here. They a lot of them come to Siem Reap, but the Chinese tourists aren't here just yet. And my friend, I think I was speaking to my friend Kim about this, and we were discussing it, and it probably has something to do with the situation over there at the moment. I mean, they were in a lockdown much longer than the rest of the world, and they only kind of came out of it, you know, maybe in the last few months. So I guess the Chinese are still like in that period of recovery since all of that COVID, that lockdown stuff. And you know, all of that stuff, like when I think about the pandemic and the effects that it has. You know, it had a lot of different effects economically, but also emotionally. And I think, you know, going back to the Chinese tourism thing, where there's not much at the moment, I think, if I remember, when we were that far out of our lockdowns in Australia, it was like you didn't want to do anything. You didn't want to go anywhere. It's like it's a very like weird time where the dust has settled and everyone's like, whoa, I need to, you know, we all need to sit back and just reflect on all of that. A huge emotional toll, all those lockdowns and stuff. And that's probably what the Chinese are going through now. But I think the Chinese will start to come back around about the end of this year. And when they come back, they're going to come back in droves. It's going to be a huge wave of Chinese tourism. This is Soksan Road. Soksan. This is more action here. Way more action in Soksan. This is not even the main part of town, but we're approaching the main part of town. Here you see nicer hotels. So we got the LGBT flag. It's everywhere these days, so may as well be on Soksan Road. You know, I've always thought it was odd how in Cambodia and Thailand and stuff, speaking of LGBT, I always thought it was odd how like countries like Cambodia, Thailand, much more conservative cultures than the Western cultures, way more conservative in a lot of ways. And the whole they haven't had to have like an LGBT movement, not from my knowledge anyway, because transgenderism and homosexuality and the lot, it's always been quite accepted in these countries. Like the transgenderism in Thailand especially, like that's a huge thing. Everyone knows about that, and that's always been accepted. Well, I don't know about always, I'd have to look into that a little bit more, but it's been accepted for a long time, and it's like only in the West are we, you know, starting to have that discussion. But it's just funny how like a super conservative cultures in comparison to Western cultures much more progressive than our culture when it comes to like this transgenderism and homosexuality. There are a lot of people who come here, who live here, who are openly homosexual, and there's no issue. There doesn't seem to be any, not only no issue, but no discussion about it. You know, like it's such a huge topic of debate in the West at the moment, and it's just like, and then you come to another country where it's like there's no discussion about it. It's just, it is what it is. And it's been like that in these countries for a long time. And it's just interesting, because in so many ways these guys are like way more conservative than us in the West. Like so many ways. On the societal level and on the individual level, particularly on the individual level. Like the people I meet here, a lot of my friends are much more conservative minded, more traditional compared to like us Westerners. like, and it's just, yeah, it's just interesting to see that. Getting barber shop, that wasn't here when I was living here, and then you got the Aussie. That wasn't here when I was here. Tattoo. Hey? I did, of course. A lot of Aussies living here, a lot of expat Aussies living. It's just a nice place. It's easy going, it's nice. I really enjoy coming here and just relaxing. I did enjoy living here as well. Like I really enjoyed living here. It's just a nice place. Like, this is not the main part of town either. This is like the main part of town is like maybe 200 meters up. We'll go to the main part of town. Yeah, exactly like Lebanon, where you just have to cross and hope for the best. Chaotic roads. It kind of works here. I need to pick up my laundry. No, not now. Hello. Laundry? Yeah? Yeah, please. Akon. Thank you. These little shops, and they got laundry service. It's actually it's very useful. I feel like in Siem Reap, because it is a tourist town, it accommodates for everyone. Everyone's needs much better compared to like Lebanon, especially. Lebanon I found really tough to get around. Okay, so here, this place is where I spent like 3 months towards the end of my trip. It's not run by the family who I was staying with at the time. It's run by different people now, but this is you got the restaurant here, and then on the top you got apartments, which is where I was staying. And I stayed there for a good 3 months with that family. Like, families, when they own something like, well, not own, when they're running a business out of something like that, a lot of the time they sleep there. You know, it's just easier because you're doing like 18-hour days, and it's just easier to just get a hammock or a mattress, a thin mattress, and just sleep there. So I lived with these people pretty much for like 3 months, and that was pretty cool. I got really close with them. I really enjoyed my time there. Another crossing. There we go. Hey, your mango sticky rice was good. Yeah, I had before. Yeah, really nice. I'll come and get again. Yeah, thank you. Now we're heading back into my hotel. This is a nice little area. We got a. So, hello, Susaday. Susaday. Yeah, we got the school here. So I hear the kids every morning. That's a public school. So they're probably donated by. Yeah, there you go. Donated by Mitri Guest House. Sounds like a maybe like a hotel and an NGO. That's the cool thing about here. Every business that runs is connected to some sort of NGO. Like, NGOs are really big here, so they combine that that element of, you know, business and commerce, which is mainly in the tourism sector here in Siem Reap, and they combine that with, you know, humanitarianism and NGOs and stuff. So you find a lot of hotels who are also in partnership with large NGOs that do work around the community, build schools, fund education, fund healthcare. You know, maybe it's to do with animals, because there's a lot of like stray dogs and cats. I don't know if you can see up ahead, there's a dog walking just there. They're all, a lot of them are stray. A lot of them are all stray, but they kind of also belong to wherever they hang out. Like if they hang out, we've got a kitten just hanging out in the front of our apartment at the moment, and you know, it gets fed and everything. So I guess they're not domesticated animals, but they're looked after, most of them. And yeah, there are a lot of NGOs that, you know, fundraise for looking after the animals around the area. Yeah, it's just a nice place. This is my entrance to my hotel. Probably stop recording now soon. Hey, my brother Kim. I was just walking around recording. I went to my old, studio apartment when I lived here. Yeah. Yeah, close. Yeah, just 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
You know Aura Bar? Aura Bar?
Oroba.
Yeah.
You not stay here last time? Two sister?
Oh, I did for a couple of months,
Yeah.
but when I was working at EO Cambo,
Oh,
I rented the studio apartment.
okay.
You know where there's this new big building, Apple or something.
Oh, it's just 2, 3 floor on that way.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah.
It's the big white
white
building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. My studio apartment was around there.
Okay.
Yeah. 150 per month.
150.
Yeah.
That's good.
You think lower now?
I think now it's lower. But I think even now not so much different. Maybe same maybe.
Mm. What's the white buildings? What is that?
Why building?